and welcome back. I am Chi Vital, aka King Chi, and I am back with another tool for your toolkits. Welcome, welcome. How you doing? HOC. What's up, light beams? Holla holla, Colt College. Wagwan. So, I notified the group. For those of you who are new, welcome to you as well. Please like and subscribe if you'd like to join me more on this journey on the powers of meditation. And there's way more content available on the playlist. So join the community. You're welcome. Thanks for being here. All right, so I'll let the community know that I was going to be going live later on tonight. So for my West Coast fam, this is really about the time that y'all get settled in anyway. So let's call it a win-win situation. I'm not going to use the laptop today. So whatever you say, I may not see it immediately. I will take a moment towards the end of this live to bring you whatever answers you might need. Okay? Peace, Erica. Welcome. Yes, Faye. That's my daughter. I'm live. I'm teaching right now. Okay. Thank you. Good night. You want to say hi? Hi. All right. So, I began this Powers of Meditation series with becoming aware of the breath. And I've given you some very simple techniques. And although they're simple, I'll give you some more examples of why they're so powerful. Okay? So the first thing is that when we look at gross size versus power, coming from a scientific background, what I understand is that the smaller the particle and the closer you get to the atom is actually the more power you have, hence the atomic bomb, right? But a lot of times our minds and our external world convince us that the bigger, the better, the bigger, more powerful something can be, where that's totally not true. And the more that we do these exercises of meditation, we realize the power within our subtle bodies and what exists in this part of us that literally appears to be the smallest because you can't really see it, which is your spirit, but it is the most powerful vehicle on the planet Earth for human beings. Like, we have this consciousness that has come here into this plane to learn, to really discover what it is that we're made of and what it is that we already are. So while you're on this journey and you're using the powers of meditation, I want to reinforce that there is nothing really that you're going to be attaining. I want us to shift out of the space of trying to achieve or attain something and realize that it's as simple as discovering what is already there, pulling back the layers so that you can become aware of the possibility that already exists. Much like how a seed already has all of its possibilities inside of the seed, although you and I may not be able to see it. The difference here is that of all the things, the living beings on this planet, it seems that the trees, the birds, the animals, they already are attuned to the program of what is there. They're not looking to attain to become anything else other than what is already there. And so they're becoming follows a natural order of steps. It doesn't decide that, like, a seed doesn't pick itself up and say, well, I know I'm a tropical seed, but I'm going to try and see if I can grow in the desert. It doesn't do that. It doesn't exist. But we have the ability to trick ourselves. While we have the freedom of free will, we also have the freedom to trick ourselves and to create obstacles to being what we already are. Like, innately, it's not supposed to be difficult to be yourself. But because our mind agrees with all of the other distractions, then it becomes difficult to be yourself because you're minding everyone else's business about how they feel about you being yourself. And even if being yourself feels a little awkward at first, eventually it comes along, but not because you've learned to be yourself, you've discovered who you are. Press 1 in the chat if you agree or you understand exactly what I am explaining to you. Okay? So it's basically, if you're here in this moment and you're watching this video and you're on what is called a spiritual quest or a spiritual journey, you are already spiritual. It is not something that can be added to you. Okay? It's not like, okay, I'm going to be more spiritual now. It's already inside of you. You've discovered that you're a spiritual being. Not only can it not be added to you, it cannot be taken from you either. Okay? I want to give you 4 different words for your journaling process of understanding this discovery and exploration of what is already there. Okay? So the first 2 words I want you to write down, and I want you to create a column. Okay? So you'll have on one side the word attainment, and on the other side you'll have discovery. Okay? Part of this first part of your assignment for journaling is where I want you to write in red under the attainment column things that you feel like you're trying to get to, you're trying to achieve, you're seeking, you're gunning it. Okay? And then in the column with the discovery, I want you to write in black the things that you've come to know on your own about yourself. The things that you have basically discovered in black. All right? So the color schemes follow the notion that in red, with more of a yang energy, it's outward, right? It's forward. Okay, it's more action. In the black, we're going to go with that's more of a yin, receptive energy, where the discovery doesn't require outward energy. It's more of an inward energy, and it's without force. Okay, without active force. Got it? That's just the first part. And as I go along, I'll get into how the breathing technique is going to shift. And don't be mad at me, but it all comes together eventually. All right? I'm going to be giving you a more structured discipline for your meditation practice moving forward, because I needed you to get comfortable with the technique of even becoming aware of your breath in the power of those different points that I outlined in the previous videos. Okay? So the next thing I want to talk about with the breathing are the other two words. And those are attention versus awareness. Okay? Attention versus awareness. Peace, Aki. Peace, Q Alchemist. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Okay? These two words are going to become important now because while I was telling you to become aware of your breath, what you all have reported to be true is that initially there was this sense of like everything else disappeared and you could only focus on this one part, right? And if something got your attention somewhere else, you lost sight of where the breath was. Well, that makes sense because when you start this practice, you're going to be in more of an energy of attention, okay? Because when we think of attention, pay attention, you can only really focus in and hone in on one thing. You'll have to exclude all other things. If you're paying attention to my nose right now, the rest of my face kind of disappears. The same way if you pay attention to walking, you may realize that the street and the people passing by disappear. Attention really means to focus in on that one thing. So really and truly, we're moving our way into a space of awareness where we can include all parts at the same time and still be you're no longer just paying attention, you are actually taking in and being present with more than one thing. So for example, right, you are in a space with multiple people. Attention, you focus in on this one person standing there. You see their clothes, you see their face, you see their body, their mannerisms, and then you widen your perspective and now you become aware of the room. There's hundreds of people in the room, and now all of the energy of everyone who's there is now being recorded consciously. So you're really working on becoming conscious of your breathing in such a way that you're not tense about it. But it is a natural step in the beginning when you are becoming aware or paying attention to the breath that there is some tension there. So I just want to tell you, like, good job still. You didn't do anything wrong. Now we are moving towards understanding that awareness and attention are actually subtly different, but that subtlety is very different in defining the kind of energy that you're going to feel. All right. Let me know if that made sense for you all. Okay, good. All right, good. So while you were paying attention, right? I'm going to point something out to you. And you'll probably try it while you're watching, which I invite you to do. These are practical things. If you don't practice it, you won't really know. Don't take my word for it. Just try it and experience it for yourself, right? While you were becoming more familiar with your breath, there are two things that you absolutely did become aware of and you paid attention to. That is when the breath that you breathe in touched the air, touched the front of your nostrils. Yes or no? Yes? So you felt the touch of the air going into your nose, and then you felt the air going down to a certain point. Correct? Now here's the kicker. You have now become aware of or paid attention to the effect of the breath. You have not yet become aware of the actual air and energy of the breath. Does that make sense? I'll give you another example. When you go to the beach and you're observing the waves crashing at the top of the ocean, you see the waves, you appreciate the waves. You're aware of the waves, but you are not aware of the wind, right? Not until you sit and really open yourself to being present will you understand that there is a wind that occurs in that little gap that creates the effect of the waves that you can see. But what has more power is that the wind that you can't see has the effect on that huge ocean to move it in such a way that you can see it. And that is the same with you developing this awareness in the subtlety of your breath. That this thing that you can't see initially, because you will become so aware of the breath at some point during your practice that even when you are asleep, you will be aware of the breath. Because the breath has an energy. Obviously, it moves through your entire being and keeps you alive, right? And when you get to the point where you can become aware of that subtlety of what is the breath, then you are in tune with prana. You follow? So what I'm going to ask you all to do, because this is not meant to be difficult, but of course your mind can make it difficult, is I want you to now adopt a discipline that ensures that you have the right vitality and, I'm going to say, mindset when it comes to the powers of a meditation practice. I want you to carve out time in the morning. Right after you get up, I suggest that when you get up, take your shower or your bath immediately and then meditate. Why? Because from my experience, if you wake up and then you just sit in meditation, sometimes you don't fully bring yourself present. Some of us don't wake up like, bing, I'm up and I'm ready to go. Sometimes I really do wake up like I'm ready to go. I feel so renewed. I feel so refreshed. So while you're coming out of the state of sleep, take your shower, really wake yourself up, and let the first thing you do be sit down and meditate. So if that means you have to wake up a little earlier, then do that. I want you to know now that everything that happens that tells you, that brain, that mind, tells you that you don't have the time, that something else is more important and pressing in the moment, are all systems of defense. Because the more that you understand the power of meditation, is the more that the mind is going to dissolve. And if the mind is going to be dissolved, then it's going to fight you to stay present and alive and totally in charge. You're moving out of your mind into your spirit. Okay? A lot of times we don't always question what comes from the mind. But because I know that you're intentionally moving into a more in-depth, powerful meditation practice, and the mind is going to kick up a lot, I want you to question your mind as it brings things forward. When the mind says, oh, well, you have to, you have to make a breakfast, so you don't have time to sit and meditate. Ask yourself, ask your mind, do I really not have time? Because I know I'm going to create this time to scroll on and check my messages. I know I'm going to create this time to sit and drink my coffee. I know that I'm going to make time to pick at my face in the mirror. I know I'm going to make time to decide what I'm going to wear when it's quite easy. I have clean clothes, just pull it out. All these, they're little things that you don't realize are happening. Okay? Just challenge your mind. Challenge your mind for all the times when it comes up and tells you what you can't or you're not going to be able to do. All right? This is really important. And when you make an agreement that this is important to the development of your life and your ascension, then it'll happen. So as a group, I think what will be awesome is if those of us who are in a particular time zone can commit to hitting up the group to say, all right, I'm meditating at this time. Who wants to meditate at this time? We can do it together. That will create more of an accountability system and some brotherhood, sisterhood for all the excuses that are going to come up. I know that when I did exercise in the morning at a certain time and I was like, be there, more people were present and getting the benefits of it as a group. Okay? Any questions? Do any of you who have been following through this video tonight have any questions? Oh, I can scroll now. Okay. All right. Now that you have the awareness that the breath is actually not the touch or what you feel in the passage, don't get upset with yourself when you're like, well, I still can't see the breath. When you're meditating, if you have the opportunity to sit in an absolutely dark room where there is no light, practice this breathing meditation again. I'm going to tell you, you can give yourself an hour block. Work yourself towards being able to sit there for an hour, but you're not going to have to sit there for an hour. Carve out an hour in the morning. That is for your meditation. Okay? For you, you can put on a timer to see how long you can stay with the breathing techniques of noticing the points and the gaps. And then when you find that your attention goes elsewhere, just bring it back and just continue just some silence. Okay? If you don't have an hour, cut it back to 45 minutes. You don't have 45 minutes, cut it back to 30 minutes. But you absolutely want to stick with the time every morning. And so let's go to the group and agree on a time. All right? We can do this together. I believe in you. I believe in me, so I believe in you. Okay? Awareness, attention. Okay. That's it. It looks like I don't have any questions. It was great to be with you all tonight. And I look forward to connecting with you again. The next thing we'll do is we'll go in the chat. We'll go in the group on Facebook and decide on a time in the morning that we can tag each other and say, all right, meditation. Okay? I'll see you all soon. Peace, love, and bliss. Till next time.